Iran is trying to signal to the rest of the world, take us seriously. We can continue to develop our nuclear program. And it's a bit of a challenge to the international community. At the same time, the international community needs to keep its calm and recognize that while this is possibly an advance and it still needs to be verified, it doesn't mean that Iran is suddenly stepping into a nuclear weapons program. It's also important to remember that in October of 2009, when the international community and Iran negotiated a deal essentially to extract enriched uranium from Iran in exchange for fuel rods, that was intended to have the fuel rods be delivered to the Tehran research reactor. So Iran is upping the ante and saying they can do it themselves. There's a general view in the scientific community and also in the intelligence community of the US and the IAEA that there is knowledge and technical capacity inside of Iran to continue to go further if they so choose. And that's the key item. Iran has not chosen to make nuclear weapons. That's the consensus of Israeli intelligence, of the US intelligence community. So that's a political decision. But from a technical perspective, they do have trained scientists, they do have knowledge, they do have mechanics and mechanical opportunities on the ground to create a more advanced nuclear program. The kernel of good news in all of this is that we actually know what they have in terms of quantities of enriched uranium. The International Atomic Energy Agency does have visibility into their enrichment capabilities. It does monitor the levels. So we would know if Iran had made a decision to move that uranium, that low enriched uranium, into a higher enriched situation. We would know. We would know if they were going to convert that for weapons purposes. Likely they would, like many countries who choose to break out for nuclear weapons capacity, they would make these moves and they would kick out the inspectors from the international community. So that's being watched. And it's important to then leverage this knowledge into a discussion with the Iranians. We should never be in the position of denying talks, but we have to go to these talks and say to the Iranians, what are you willing to own up to? What have you been doing? And going forward, what are your plans and how will we monitor and verify whether or not what you're saying is accurate? You say you want a peaceful nuclear program. Many leaders across the globe have said for peaceful purposes, if verified, that is okay. But we need to test that proposition, and that's the goal of what these discussions should really try to achieve.